morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. You was probably wondering why we didn't have our podcast last Saturday. Just a little bit of a short story. I ended up A&E with blood clots on the lungs, and I've been diagnosed with diabetes. Do not know what type it is yet. So bear with me, still struggling to breathe, but I am joined by Miss Diane and Miss Callie to hopefully nurse me through this. I'm not 100%, but let's get this show on the road. So, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to Gillingham vs Bradford City pre-match chat live. And now we have a bit more information on referees and stuff. So the referee for tomorrow's game is Scott Jackson. He has had 3 appearances in the EFL Trophy. He's given out 12 yellow cards. In League One, he's given out in League One. He's had 3 appearances, giving out 12 yellow cards. League Two, he's had 7 appearances. He's given out 31 yellow cards and 1 red card. FA Cup, 1 appearance, 7 yellow cards. EFL Cup is given 1 appearance and 2 yellow cards. Should be a good game tomorrow. Also, we are joined by Gills in the Blood. I were on his podcast the other day. So, Miss Callie, Miss Diane, welcome. How are you two?
Good, Johnny. Good to see you back.
Struggling, but I'm here.
Well, us women can talk for England, so crack on.
Yeah, we can, can't we? At least I'm better than I was last week as well.
I think we've all had some sort of illness, haven't we, last few weeks?
We have. I tell you what, our glass Salford were cancelled because I was feeling really crap that day.
Yeah, it's bonus, isn't it? A lot of people, I think, were ill when that was on, so that's a bit of a bonus.
But now they've decided to rearrange it, haven't they, to 23rd of Jan?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, so before I'm just going to invite Gills in the Blood. Before he speaks, so we'll just look at a couple of past results. There's absolutely loads of them, so I'm just going to go from 2019. So in 2019, Bradford drew 1-1. Same again, 2019 in February, we won 2-0. 22nd of April, 2-2, and then we've got the game tomorrow. So I just want to head over to Gills in the Blood and just basically get his perspective from the Gillingham.
Good evening, everyone. You okay? Can you hear me?
Yep, you're coming in loud and clear.
Good. One correction, it's Gills in the Blood. Sorry, it's a soft G like the football club.
Sorry, I can't read all right.
That's all right. Yeah, it should be. I mean, like you say, you came onto our preview show on Wednesday, so if no one's checked that out yet from a Bradford point of view, please feel free to head over to my YouTube channel and have a look. And if you want to subscribe, thank you very much. It's a shameless plug, but yeah, I think it'd be a good game. I understand that Bradford have picked up in recent weeks. Ironically, it'd be the second time I think that Graham Alexander's been to Priestfield this season already. He's been beaten once. That was with MK Dons back at the start of October. That was ironically the first game after we'd sacked Neil Harris. I think Graham's probably more suited to Bradford than he was suited to the job at MK, based on sort of styles of play and that type of thing. But from our point of view, the home form's been good. I think we've won 3 on the bounce now, League and Cup. We've only conceded once in them trio of games, so I'm confident going into the game that if we play as we did certainly against Charlton, and definitely the second half against Salford City a few weeks ago, then I think we'll have enough to win the game. But we know that with a side that's got Andy Cook in it, you can't be thinking you're just going to turn up and roll over and win 3 points. So it's going to be a tough game. We know that. There's still plenty of time in the season for both sides to push into the top 7 and potentially higher. But we're playing well at home, and we're starting to see signs of what Stephen Clements wants us to do now. And I think it's a key period for a lot of teams, isn't it? I think we all sort of play 5 games in 20 days or something like that. So it's a key time for everyone. But yeah, looking forward to it. And would back us to win, definitely.
So currently looking at the league table, Gillingham are 8th. They're on a -7 goal difference. They're on 31 points. Bradford all the way down in 14th. Obviously, we've got a game in hand because of the Salford game. -3, 26 points. So who is your, who should Bradford City look out for tomorrow?
I can't see there being too many changes. Obviously, it's a bit awkward now because we've had the week off because of the postponement. So there was a couple, certainly, that missed the Charlton game or came off early in the Charlton game that you'd think would be to contenders to go back in. So for me, if he comes back in, Connor Mahoney from the side is a massive threat. He's good with both feet. He can beat a fullback. His delivery's good. He's a threat in terms of goal scoring as well, particularly from outside the box. I think he scored 4 this season. None of them have been inside the 18-yard box. So you don't want to be giving him chances. And if we can get the ball to him, obviously the other name that's going to be mentioned is going to be Johnny Williams, because of the fact that he was very close to signing for Bradford in the summer before coming and joining us, which I think, we spoke about is, I don't think it was as big a shock as maybe Bradford fans realised at the time, because of the fact that he was born in Tunbridge Wells, which is literally just up the road from Gillingham. So it was a case of coming home for Johnny. If he plays well, we play well. Ethan Coleman's the other one. I think he had to come off early in that Charlton game, sits in front of the back four. If he's able to play, then he'll do that sort of dirty work in front and just protect us and keep us ticking over. So that would be the 3 that I'd pick out. But I think we've got basically a fully fit squad to choose from now, which is the first time we've had that in a good while. So that gives Stephen Clements good problems. So loads of options all of a sudden, and people potentially missing out just through choice rather than injury or suspension.
So looking at Simon Parker on the TNA, he's saying your leading top goal scorer is Connor Mahoney.
Connor Mahoney, he's got 4 in the league. All of his have been in the league, I think. Morecambe, Swindon, Salford, and Tranmere.
And then also, I'm like the Paul Merson of the group here. Pronouncing names is not my forte.
Macaulay Bond's got 4 in all competitions as well. He scored against Charlton a couple of weeks ago against his former club. I'm just trying to think who else we've got. 2 seconds. He's got 4. Mahoney's got 4, and then we've got a trio of players on 3. Robbie McKenzie, Ashley Naderzan, and Tom Nichols are all on 3. So, we don't score loads. Weirdly, I think we're the only team in the division that's not got to 20 league goals yet, which is staggering in itself, and it sort of understand why we've got a -7 goal difference despite being only outside the playoffs on goal difference. So, but at the same time, if you look at the positive, if that starts clicking more consistently, and there have been signs of that under Clements, like I say, 3 goals against Salford, 2 against Charlton, ground out a winner against Wimbledon, went to Hereford in the cup and scored twice. If we can get it right at that end of the pitch, then I think we'll be absolutely fine.
So looking at your past results, you beat Charlton 2-0 at home. Wimbledon, you won 1-0 at home. Tranmere, you lost 3-1. And Salford, you won 3-1. So you've got a bit of, after the Salford game, obviously you've got a bit of momentum, aren't you, going through now because you won that game?
Yeah, Tranmere was disappointing. We just didn't turn up. I mean, we had more of the ball and we got into good areas, but we were wasteful, and then we switched off 3 times. So you get punished if you give sides chances at this level. But aside from that, like I say, the other 3 performances, Salford, Charlton and Wimbledon, have all been at home. There's 2 clean sheets in there, which is why I'm quite confident going into tomorrow's game. Like I say, I don't expect us to just turn up and claim the points. We're going to have to work hard and win our battles and that type of thing, all the old cliches. But I'm fairly confident that if we play as well as we can do, then we should have enough to get over the line.
So looking at the match odds for the game, I'm not very good on betting and stuff. So Gillingham are 13-10, City 19-10, the draw 9-4. So who does that mean? Who's favourites for the winning
Gillingham
game?
are favourites slightly. Then for £10 you'd get 13 back, whereas you'd get 19 back for your tenner for for Bradford. So there's not a lot in it, and there's not a lot in it between the 2 wins or the draw as well. So I think the bookmakers are being fairly cautious because, like we said, Bradford have picked up in the last 2. You've kept clean sheets in back-to-back games, haven't you? I think against Forest Green and Accrington. Andy Cook starting to play well. So yeah, it'll be it won't be. We're not going to turn up and thrash you, and I don't think you'll turn up and thrash us. It'll be a proper League 2 game with 2 teams hopefully having a go at trying to win it, I think.
And also saying last time the sides met, Andy Cook scored City's goal of the season in a 2-0 win at Breaksfield Stadium in February. Yeah,
that was the one where he nicked it on the halfway line, wasn't it? And then skipped round the other centre half and lofted it over our keeper. Yeah, I remember it well. Thanks for bringing it up.
Sorry. A bit of City news as well. Ash Taylor's still suspended after he picked up his red card. Right, Mr. Owen, I see you've been waiting for a while. Are you still there, Owen?
Hi, Johnny. You all right?
Getting there, bud. Struggling, but I'm fighting it. I'm battling it. I'm not at the game tomorrow, but I'll be watching it on iFollow.
Fucking hell. It'd be weird without you being at the game, will you? You haven't missed one of this season, I don't think.
I know. I've been trying to go, but Mum and Dad are just saying, nope, stay at home. Don't risk it.
I'm risking it. I'm driving down tomorrow.
Are you going down with? Are you driving down? You going coach?
Yeah, I'm driving down. Just me and my pal are going. Just two. We try to get more people, but people got a lot on. It's nearly Christmas, isn't it? So people are working, etc.
Yeah.
Johnny, I'll FaceTime you, Johnny, when I get there. Don't worry. I'll give you your fix.
I need my fix. You need to get. I need a bovril as well, Cal. I need a bovril.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of a bovril for you. Don't worry.
Sally, can you get you my fix of Harry Lewis, please?
Yes,
Thank you.
that's noted. It's on the list.
It's like Owen would say, that it feels really weird for me. Like Callie and Diane know, I rarely miss games. I'm not going to lie, but I was actually doing cartwheels in Airedale Hospital on Saturday when I found out the game actually did get postponed because I'm not missing it. I know it's been rearranged. Here we go. So, Mr. Tony, how are you today? Are you there, Tone? Are you there, Tony?
Good evening.
Here he is. Here he is. He's
Then
Are you looking forward to the game tomorrow, Tone?
Yes, I am.
Are you going, Tony? Are you on coach?
No. I've just come back from Lanzarote, haven't I? And I'm going to Egypt in January.
Who am I supposed to wind up on the way down? I've got 3 hours of people winding up to do.
Ah, well.
Typical.
I'm sorry I can't grace you with my presence. But Lanzarote were a bit... I spent more than what I thought I was going to do.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Was you remortgaging your house, Tone?
No. No, I didn't go overboard, but it was a toss-up between spending a bit of money or going to Gillingham, and it was a no-brainer, really. Lanzarote won all day long. So, no, I mean, I have been. I went, when was it? Gary Jones scored 2000 and... I think Gary Jones scored direct from a corner, actually.
Do you reckon we've got a chance of beating Gillingham tomorrow?
Yes.
Or do you think it's to be a really tough game?
No, I think it will be tough because they're not a bad home side of Gillingham, but I'm hoping Patterson starts tomorrow because against Liverpool, when he come on, he looked pretty good. And I would go with the same side that started against Liverpool in the Bristol Street Motors Cup, because I think.
Do we think Patterson will be on bench tomorrow? Then do you think he'll put him on bench?
Possibly, I would start him personally.
Yeah, I would, especially if Cook is getting back to form as well. That'd be a mean between the two of them.
Because Smith and Cookie looked really good against Liverpool. I mean, I know we're only playing kids, and you can only beat what's put in front of you. That'd be different than being playing.
And cup games are what happens on the day, aren't they?
Well, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
But that would be my team to start, and maybe put Doyle instead of Lewis because I thought Lewis were a crap.
Not saying a word.
Diane's rattling now. You've got Diane rattling.
He always rattles me.
Diane, he's got a thing about goalies. He just doesn't like any of them.
I know.
I used to be with myself, and that's why.
Oh, is that why? Because you used to let goals in?
Oh, let me fair share in there.
Yeah. Harry letting him for a bit.
You what?
Harry's not letting him for a
No,
bit.
I love Harry, to be fair.
So do I.
It was just that other clown that we used to have.
Shut up.
Richard O'Donnell.
Anyway,
Tony, you like rattling Diane and Callie, don't you? You're mentioning
Well,
Harry Lewis. You're mentioning other Rod.
let's
Bloody hell,
be
you won't make
honest,
it on that
Johnny.
coach at this rate.
Let's be honest, Johnny. Richard O'Donnell couldn't catch a cold, never mind how else.
That's fair, to be honest.
We've had
couldn't
quite a
catch
few
COVID.
we've had quite a few conversations, me and Tony, on that coach, haven't we, Tony? About
Yes, we have. Anyway, no, I do fancy his chances tomorrow because I thought we did. I mean, like I said, I know we only played kids, but we did play well. We knocked it about well. So I am
do we
expecting.
think the rest has done them good? You know, we're not playing on Saturday. Do we
I think it
that's
will have
going to
done.
help?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do as
I
well.
think it will have done. Because to be fair, I mean, them kids from Liverpool, they were like whippets. You know, they weren't sluggish. They did cause City some problems at times, but
Definitely did.
when kids, like say they're only kids and 4-0, fair enough, yeah. But they were there to be beaten, and you can only beat what's put in front of you.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it'd be tough. I think it'd be 2-1 either way, but I just think City might just nick it.
So according to Simon Parker, he thinks the team will be Harry Lewis, Halliday, Matty Platt, Sam Stubbs, Kelly, Richardson, Smallwood, Gilliard, Walker, Smith, Cook, with Chapman, Peyton, Odor, Patterson, Oliver, Tomkinson, and Doyle on the bench. So
Yeah.
would you be happy if the same team with that like that?
Yeah.
I'd like Tomkinson to start.
He were class against Liverpool.
Yeah, he were quite good. I like look at him every time I see him. He just seems like he could be someone who could replace Critchlow, which we haven't found yet. He was phenomenal last season.
Exactly.
Can I just ask, is he the one that's been playing the international games for
Yeah.
America? Is he the American?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just checking I've got right one.
He is in the Critchlow mould, to be fair.
Yeah, just a quick defender who's just confident in his own ability. That's just what it is, really.
And he's got pace.
Yeah, I think that's what we lack in the back three. I think, especially, as much as I love Stubbs, this season I think he's just been caught out quite a lot with pace.
Yeah.
So do you think he'll stick with the same formation, because now they've not played, have they, in a week, so they should be raring to go and they should have done well in training?
I'd definitely go for same system. Yeah, I think Alexander's kind of got it spot on. He had a bit of a blip first two games, but we played two fairly decent sides. To be fair, you got whereas Barrow, I think Barrow were third and not Scoutney a fourth now, and they were his first two games, so he did get pretty unlucky in that aspect. And we played Accrington since and Forest Green, and that system of five or three back, whatever you call it, just seemed to work for us.
Yeah, so looking at the table currently then, so we're 14th on 26 points, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So if we win, we could probably nip up to, goal difference-wise, 11th, 10th or 9th goal difference-wise, if we win. Also, I'd like to get people's thoughts on Swindon as well. I know we're going a little bit off topic, but Swindon have been, I think, told off, or they're in trouble due to spending and stuff. So what's people's thoughts on them might get a points deduction or a fine?
I hope we get a points deduction because it just might help us out. But I think once we plug on Jake Young and MK plug on Dan Kemp, I think their season's done for me anyway, so...
That's
Definitely.
Fair point. Yep, fair point. Owen, forgot about that, Dan Kemp.
Yeah, if we could maybe... I know, look, I think midfield's actually our strong point, to be fair. We've got a lot of good players, but if we could maybe nick that Kemp, I'd absolutely love him. I think every time he's played City, he's been a good player, him.
Do you think there'll be a lot of movement then in January, Owen? Do you think quite a lot of players will be going and coming out of City, or do you think he'll just get rid of a few players?
Well, he's kind of said, and I think he came out and said we won't be adding many players, but that could be pure mind games. You don't know sometimes. I wouldn't trust everything gaffers say in press sometimes. If I'm honest, I think looking at it, I'd like maybe if he's not going to start Tompkinson and maybe another centre back. I'd definitely. I'd say get another striker in, but I'd say it's more important that we recall Young, and he'd be the striker to help have competition, because with Oliver coming back, we've only just got a bit of competition for them two up top. Yeah,
because I hope Oliver does get on the bench tomorrow, obviously, to play Gillingham tomorrow. Because having been on the Gills in the Blood podcast, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but I had a bet with him, I think, Panda Pop and 25p, I think it was, no, big bet that Oliver will probably score tomorrow.
He used to play for, didn't we get him?
Yeah,
he used to play for Gillingham.
Yeah. So hopefully, I think he's well thought of there, but I might be completely wrong. I think we best ask Gills in the Blood if he's well thought of or not.
Yeah. Well, what was Oliver like at? Oh, I've sent him a speaker thing. Hopefully he's still listening. Hopefully he's not nodded off. Here he is. So what was Oliver like at Gillingham?
Yeah, he was superb for us. Absolutely brilliant. He's a top player and he's a top bloke as well. I think that's one of the best things about sort of doing these spaces or YouTube channels or podcasts at this type of level, is that you get access to players and you get to find out about the person rather than just the player. And I had him on my channel just after he left, I think, when his contract is expired, and he's a really nice fella, proper down to earth. But yeah, he was, in terms of the football stuff, he was brilliant for us. I think that first season he got 22 goals. So for me, it's been a surprise that he's struggled so much at Valley Parade. I know he's had injuries, and obviously the form of Andy Cook played a big part last season. But yeah, it's been disappointing to see that he's not been good. Obviously, I hope if he does get on the pitch tomorrow that he's absolutely horrendous, and I'd tell him that to his face as well. But yeah, if you play the right way and you get service into the 6-yard box, Dane Oliver comes alive. I mean, I don't know how many headers he scored for us. I say he got 21 or 22, I think it was, in all competitions. That was the COVID season, so we never actually got to see him live that season, when we finished, I think, 9th or 10th in League One. And then even the season when we got relegated, I know he missed probably about 4 months of that. I think he was still our top scorer of about 11 in all competitions. So yeah, I mean, you can't. I think I'm sure he was going along exactly 1 in 3 in 2 seasons with us, and the first season obviously was going along at a better ratio of that. But yeah, he's probably a sort of player that's almost going out of the game, that sort of old-fashioned number 9 that plays with his back to goal. And you don't see a lot of teams play 2 up top now, which probably means that he's obviously having to be behind Andy Cook at the moment. And I certainly don't think you could play the 2 of them together, but he's one hell of an understudy. If Cook does get injured or suspended or his form drops off, then for me, Dane Oliver's a more than able deputy, and he should be playing every week because he's good enough to play at the level. He was good enough to play at a higher level in League One with us, so it must be frustrating for him. But yeah, top player, top bloke. If you get him fit and get him on the pitch, he'll score your goals.
I don't know how accurate Wikipedia is. He's in 82 appearances, he scored 27 goals for you. In 30 appearances for Bradford City, he's scored 3 goals.
Yeah, I don't think Wikipedia's entirely up to date. I can tell you how many because I keep a log on my phone.
I think he scored 4 for just off the top of my head, to be honest.
Right, the 2021, he scored 20 goals for us and contributed 8 assists. And then the season we got relegated, he scored 11 and contributed, I don't think there was any, 5 assists as well. So that's what, by my reckoning, I keep a log on my phone from each week. So yeah, so 31 goals in about 90 games in all competitions. So 1 in 3. Obviously, it's a lot lower now at Bradford, unfortunately for him. But if you've got Andy Cook hitting 30 in a season, then as a fan, you're happy.
To be fair, a lot of them have been probably coming off the bench.
That's it, yeah. And if you don't start games and you don't play regularly, you struggle to get rhythm, and then it becomes harder, doesn't it? Trying to influence games in short periods. It was good to see him come off the bench in the EFL Trophy a couple of weeks ago and score. It was made up for him. So, but yeah, I hope he's absolutely shit tomorrow if he plays.
He's a good honest player.
He is, yeah.
Oliver.
He'll run through brick walls for you. Even if he's not fit, he will play. He played for us probably at 80% fit, trying to keep us up the back end of that relegation season. He will do everything he can to be a success at Bradford. And apart from twice this season, I hope he still can be. Or you could.
What was his injury record like at Gillingham?
Fine for us. I think he had one problem where he'd done something to his ankle and he missed about 3 months of the relegation season from like November till the end of January. And I think the only other time he missed a couple of games was because he had paternity leave because I think he had, don't quote me on this, but I'm sure there was complications after his partner had given birth to one of their children. So he was obviously off doing what any father would do, and that was look after his family. But no, in terms, apart from the one that he had where he missed 3 or 4 months, which in a way probably ultimately cost us our place in League One because we only needed to score one more goal and earn another point and we'd have stayed up. I think, and if he'd been fit for the whole of them 4 months, we'd have found that other point. But no, that's what I mean. It's surprising because he's had, it seems to be injury after injury since he's gone to Bradford, but he was never injured with us really, apart from that one period.
Oh, Bradford City like signing injured players.
Oh no, this is on Bradford. This ain't on Gills. I'm not taking that. He was absolutely fine with us. You've beaten him up.
So, like, while I've been in bed I've been watching that Class of '92, and they had Tom Elliott. He just watching it, and he was crocked all the time, Tom Elliott, and then Bradford City in the wisdom decided to bring him on loan, and he got crocked. He just always used to be crocked for us as well, but with Oliver, it's like when I went to the Liverpool game under 21s, he came on, I think, for about 20 minutes or 15 minutes. First 2 minutes, he bulldozed one of their players over. It made me chuckle. It was nice to see him back. And I'm saying that I hope tomorrow he gets a goal, boost his confidence. Right, is anyone got anything else they want to say?
Could I ask maybe one more question to Gills?
Go for it, bud. Floor's yours.
I'll just call you Gills, but just for a nickname.
Yeah, it's fine.
Who do you actually... Obviously, we've spoken about Oliver and you've mentioned Cook a fair few times, but do you look at actually anyone in our team and think, fucking hell, I don't want to play him tomorrow?
I had this chat with Johnny on our match preview, and I said that I think the problem for me with Bradford last season, which was why I could see a drop-off this season, was because, number one, I didn't think Mark Hughes was as good as everybody made out when he took the job. And number two, I thought certainly towards the back end of last season, you was relying on a handful of players to keep you in the playoffs. I thought, obviously, Harry Lewis, I thought, was exceptional last season. Obviously, Andy Cook had the season of a lifetime. The lad who you had on loan from Huddersfield, who's now gone to Peterborough, Romani Critchlow, was outstanding, I thought. Yeah. And I thought Jamie Walker was absolutely brilliant second half of the season after he got over his injury problems. But I thought after that, if them four didn't perform, you was then sort of looking around and thinking everyone else is a bit inconsistent. I know you had injuries like Ossa Davey broke his leg shortly after joining and took ages to come back. Obviously, Verdane didn't really take off as well as you'd have hoped.
Yeah.
Walker, I think Walker's key because obviously if Walker's in the game and he's having an influence, he's probably going to create chances for someone like Andy Cook. So yeah, again, you can't get away from Andy Cook. His goal record's phenomenal over the last 2 years. It's probably taken him a little longer than you'd hoped to get going in terms of the volume of goals this season, but I think he's got 7 in 17 or 18. So he's going along at just over 1.5 every 2, which is by no means a disgrace at all. It's just when he's had such a good season previously, it looks like he's dropped off. But I think Walker's probably the key player. If you can get him on the ball, then you'll cause us problems.
I think last season we had a lad on loan from Crystal Palace called Scott Banks.
Yep.
And he were a bit of a...
That lad that played off the right and but was left-footed, used to play as an inverted winger, yeah.
For me, he were a bit of a threat. And we have another lad called Harry Chapman, you might not have heard of him. Mm-hmm. He's been injured quite a lot, and he got injured with about 5 games left last season. He stretched too far for a ball, and I think he just did his hammy for about 4 months and just come back like now. I I'm pretty sure if he didn't get injured, we'd have probably gone up. I think he's someone who can. I don't think he's the most active player in the world, but on the ball and his pure abilities, absolutely brilliant.
Oh.
So I think he could be a threat if we can get him back fit this season. But it's just
that's it. Yeah, it's the trouble with too many, isn't it?
I think it's at the end of the day, it's why they're at this level.
Of course,
they'd be playing League One Championship, wouldn't they? If they were.
This is it. This is the chat I have with even with Gills fans. They go, "Oh, he was crap," and you think, "Well, yeah, they're League Two. That's why they throw in a 4 or a 5 out of 10 every so often. If they was 7, 8s, and 9s every week, they wouldn't be playing for Gills or Bradford in League Two. Like you say, they'd be Championship or Premier League if they were that consistent."
Yeah, like we just signed Alex Patterson this summer from Harrogate. He did pretty well there.
Yep.
But since he's been with us, every time he's played, he's looked great. But I think he's just been injured quite a few times. It might just be unlucky, but the reason we might have signed him is because of his injuries. That's probably why we've got him books at the minute. Yeah,
potentially. Like you say, the price drops if they've been injured, don't they? It's...
Definitely. And the same for, I know we were going to sign him with that Williams for you boys, isn't he? Injured quite a bit, or am I thinking something else?
This is the thing, I don't know where this has come from. I think he had problems earlier in his career, but this was what got... I think a lot of Bradford fans said that to us when we'd signed him. It was probably a bit of banter or a bit of, bitterness because they'd missed out or whatever, but it's... He averaged like 41 games a season in 2 years at Swindon, so I'm not sure where it's come from in latter life, and I think he's played in most games this season for us. Like, I think if this game had been played last week, he might have struggled because he got a whack in the mouth against Charlton and had to come off. But it was purely because of the fact that the physios literally couldn't stem the bleeding from this wound in his mouth. It was just like pissing blood everywhere. And apparently he's had to eat with a straw for like the last 10 days. It's only in the last few days that he's able to eat again. So they've been protecting him in training. But no, he's not missed a lot of football for us. Like, I just think we didn't find the best position for him. I think it was a great signing on paper, but the way Neil Harris set us up, I don't think we was getting the best out of Johnny Williams. Under Neil Harris, we was a functional team that didn't concede loads, didn't score loads. And I think if Johnny Williams to thrive, you have to be a little bit more expansive in possession. And we're starting to see that now. So,
yeah.
But no, I don't think, I wouldn't say he's been injury prone in the last few seasons. I've certainly not seen anything to indicate. Probably tear hamstring now you watch tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it could just be a myth with sometimes the players.
I think it is, yeah, sometimes. And and you get a fan base that says something against him because he's left their club and tried to create a story, and people end up running with it. And then, like you say, it almost becomes gospel and Chinese whisper type thing.
Yeah, well, like I said, I didn't really look into it, but to my knowledge, I thought it was just a crock, and that's maybe because he was in Premiership, wasn't he? Not long ago,
he was at Palace. So we've got our head of academy is Keith Millen, who was caretaker manager at Palace and a coach there for years. So since he sort of took over the interim thing before Clements was appointed, we started to see the best of Johnny Williams because he knows how to play him and he knows how to coach him. We want more sort of numbers with goals and direct assists, but I think the good thing with Williams is he's one of those players that is involved in goals, but earlier in the phase of play. So we might not get the credit in terms of, that's a direct assist. But like the first goal against Charlton was his ball over the top for Jayden Clark, who then squared it for Bond. So he's involved in the goal.
Yeah, but so
it's like a pre-assist, which is what you want. But I still think there's gears for Johnny to go through, and fingers crossed we start seeing it on a more consistent basis.
Yeah, that happens a lot with our boys. We've got a midfielder called Gilead, and he gets turned into a bit, well, not this season as much because I think fans are starting to realise how good he is, but last season especially because he barely got any goals or assists. You get a lot of criticism with Gilly, but if you look at most of goals, 3 or 4 moves before, he but one breaking up play and laying it off to...
That's it, and people don't see that in the highlights because they just show the final pass and then the fella finishing it off, and it's...
Yeah. So
sometimes you have to just go it back a bit, Of course, and rightly so. He's scored you 30 goals last season. He's right getting loads of credit,
I'm not taking it away from Cookie,
but it's sometimes you just have to go back a sort of phase in the highlights and you can see, look how important that was. Like the holding midfielder pinched it and set you off and stuff like that,
Yeah. How were you feeling over Neil Harris getting sacked? Because to me it came as a massive shock.
I couldn't believe it. Like, I had I was sat working that morning, and I think we'd lost at Crewe on the Tuesday night, and then a couple of people sent me a WhatsApp on the Thursday and were like, "Have you heard Harris has been sacked?" And I was like, "Piss off! Like, what are you talking about? Like, don't be daft. We're 8th in the league."
Yeah.
And then literally an hour later, the statement come out. I still don't get how it was made when we were 8th, because it put a lot of pressure on the new manager. Because you're basically saying to Stephen Clements now, to be successful, you've got to be in the top 7 this season. If promotion was the aim to start with. I could understand the concerns from the fan base in terms of we weren't scoring enough. I get that. Everyone wants to be entertained. People spend their hard-earned money to go and watch football at the weekend as a release from the stresses of life and all that sort of stuff. And you don't want to watch 0-0 and 1-0 all the time. I get that. But I think if Gills had kept Neil Harris and won 20 games 1-0 and we get in the playoffs or get promoted, no one would have batted an eyelid.
No.
So, because what is the right way to play, in inverted commas? Winning football's the right way for me, isn't it? Like,
I totally agree. Yeah,
League won the first division as it was then, winning 1-0 every week, and no one give the shit. So no, it was a surprise for me, but it's done now. The owners made it was the first decision where the owners made the call, and we were like, oh, and we all, don't get me wrong, we was all like, that's ballsy. Like, it's a big decision because they've only been in charge 11 months or 10 months at the time, to sack a manager when we was 4 points off top or whatever it was. And we're further away from that now, but obviously there's an interim period, so you can't really put that on Stephen Clements. But yeah, I was at the time, and I still didn't understand the sacking and the timing of it after only 4 defeats. But obviously if Stephen Clements comes in and gets us into the playoffs, then it's the right call, ultimately. So
I'm almost surprised at how poorly you probably did last season. The second half season were pretty strong, but especially at first half of the season, it seemed like
we would have been, without the investment and the takeover, we had literally no money. We would have been a National League club. We wouldn't be talking to you tonight. We'd have been a National League club without investment in December last year. We'd have got relegated woefully. We'd have gone by probably February, March.
So
you backed him then, so I'm surprised, how little time they gave him this season. But
yeah, this is it. It's a strange one, because if you break his reign into like 3 sections, we were 10 points adrift in League 2 when he came in, and he took it to the last day and we lost to the champions. So if we'd got something there, we'd have stayed up. First half of last season was horrific. Like, no team should go 23 games and score 6 or 7 league goals. That's inexcusable, and Neil Harris is culpable for that, as well as the players. But there were circumstances surrounding it. But then I think if you looked at his record from January till the day he was sacked, I think there was probably only Stockport had got more points in the division over 10 months. So
yeah, because I put Gills to win league this season on my predictions. I thought, this will be it now. This is Harris's turning point. He's got players that he wants, etc. And at the start of the season, I looked to be extremely right. Did you win your first few games?
We won our first 4 games 1-0.
Yeah,
all 4 of them, and we beat Southampton in the League Cup. Obviously, that's not sustainable. We knew that. You're not going to go through a whole season winning 1-0. But yeah, if we, like I said earlier in the show, if we sort the scoring out and we consistently score on a more regular basis, then I still see no reason why we can't be in the top 7 at worst. We've got a good squad for the level.
Yeah,
So with your owners, do you reckon they're doing a good job, bad job? Or are they just trying to get the money out, do you reckon?
No, doing a brilliant job, and they get it, and they researched it, and that type of thing. And we've fallen on our feet in terms of them coming in and becoming majority shareholders. They started off start of the year with the January transfer window, and they delivered on that. They said it was going to be aggressive and lucrative, and we signed really good players for the level, considering we were sort of 6 points adrift at the bottom at the time. The ground's a lot better now. You'll notice now you can't miss it when it gets dark tomorrow at the ground. The electronic hoardings all the way round. It looks incredible for a League 2 ground. Just bits behind the scenes. Everyone seems happier. The staff seem happier. Fans want to come to we know you want to watch your football team and you want them to win, but there's also a thing, the social aspect of football. So if you come and your team's not winning, you want to still be able to get a pie, or you want to be able to get a pint and watch the football and have a good time. You couldn't do that before. I mean, start of last season, we got laughed at all over social media because our ex-chairman was selling off out-of-date beer at £2 a pint, which is funny if it's someone else's club, but when it's yours, it's just embarrassing. So, no, they've been absolutely brilliant. They're doing a phenomenal job. Like I say, the first big call that caused sort of ripples amongst the fan base and the sort of everyone going, is this right? Some were agreeing, some weren't, was the Neil Harris sacking. But ultimately, we don't know how successful the Stephen Clement's appointment is until 46 league games have been played.
And have they said anything about your scaffolding stand?
Yeah, so they're going to keep it forever because we know how much of visiting fans absolutely love it because it's the best stand in the world, I think was the exact words.
How did you end up getting that stand?
That came from Sandwich Golf Club, I think it was, after the 2003 Open. And it was only meant to be a temporary thing, and here we are 20 years later. We won't change it now until we move ground because it's just not feasible to buy. It's not worth spending millions on building a new stand when we don't fill the stadium up. So I think the top tier's been condemned, and then everything that they could use off the top tier they've put down into the bottom tier to make sure that that's usable. So I think you lot have got the bottom tier or one of the blocks in the Gordon Road stand tomorrow as well. So.
How much does it roughly cost for a season ticket at Gillingham?
Mine was $350 this season, I think it was.
And is your seat good? Is it bad? Is it?
Yeah, I like my seat. I picked where I sat. I moved from one side of the stadium to the other, like the same stand, but the other side of the goal this season because my little 9-year-old girl, she wanted to start coming as well. So we couldn't get three together because there's me, her, and one of my mates that we sit together. But no, seat's decent. The views are good. Like I get why people moan or sort of tongue-in-cheek laugh about the away stand, but Christ, there's plenty of grounds that are a lot worse than ours in the Football League, certainly in League Two. You know, I don't want to dig teams out, but I'm going to Forest Green next Friday, and we've got to stand in and we haven't got a roof either. We can't even sit down.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, you go to. There's others, isn't there? There's Sutton's very non-league, but I like that. I embrace it because that's what football grounds were like when I was growing up. They're all very nice now, the Emirates and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but they're all just generic bowls, aren't they? They all look the same.
It's all part of the fun, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm praying it don't rain next Friday because me and my living are going to get absolutely drowned if it's all for a 7 o'clock kickoff on a Friday night, 2 days before Christmas. But we do it because we love it, and I guess we're all a little bit loopy, aren't we? In that, I mean, I am. It's because it's clinically diagnosed. I have to take tablets for it, but yeah, we do it because we love it, and if we didn't love it, we wouldn't choose to do it. So.
Yeah, because me and Callie, we've been to some absolutely dire grounds, haven't we?
Oh, I've got absolutely wet through to the skin, and I still stood and cheered for the team, even though we lost. Do you remember, Diane, you're not going to like me here, but do you remember the Harry Lewis, where he thought the rugby line was the...
Newport County.
Newport.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I got absolutely drenched at Newport. Even with my big coat on and my hood on, I was sodden.
Oh, God.
But I still stood there and cheered. You do it, don't you? It's part of the...
I'll tell you what, Barrow's ground hasn't changed since I used to go watch Geisel play there.
Yeah.
It's still the same shithole. Yeah. So's Accrington.
And Aldershot.
There's hundreds of them. There's hundreds
absolutely.
There's loads.
Me and my dad were just talking about it at Accrington and going, oh, is it still in that housing estate? Yeah.
The Luton one makes me laugh. How you walk through somebody's house to get to inside.
Yeah. I love Luton. It's mad, yeah. You can literally see in their back gardens.
Team now. They're Premier. That's madness.
Well, their League Cup game against us this season was the first game played at Kenilworth Road after the promotion because they had to move 2 of their first games, didn't they? Or postpone them because they had to put their main stand. So was the first game. We were the first side to play at Kenilworth Road against Luton as them being a Premier League team. But yeah, it's I love grounds like that. Like you literally can see what people have got hanging on their washing line when you walk in. It's brilliant.
I hope nobody has any big knickers.
Not our Gills fans probably nicked them to be
somebody in the comments has asked how many fans we're taking down tomorrow. Last I saw it were about 350. I don't know whether anybody else has any more details.
See what it says on the Bradford City website.
Because you can still get tickets on Gillingham website till tomorrow. Yeah. No, I am not drunk. I've had my coffee.
Because you're having a stroke there, Diane, love.
No, I just couldn't speak properly.
It's not, yeah.
It's getting ready for Christmas do tomorrow night, you know.
All right. I'm taking Bailey's on coach tomorrow with some ice in a Tupperware thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
I've got work Christmas do. Tomorrow night, I have to go get a new outfit.
That's a middle class drink, isn't it? For an away day, Bailey's.
Christmas.
That's the most middle
time,
class away day drink I've ever heard.
I might even put my Santa hat on.
Last time Callie had a few beers, it was doggy daycare, wasn't it, Callie?
Oh, don't.
Callie were absolutely rat ass, and with Burton and sponsor were doggy daycare. And after game,
That was so funny.
She just shouted out doggy daycare.
You got to be. You've all got to be polite now and talk about our owners and how good they are because one of them's listening. Evening, Shannon.
Oh, we've got VIP in here.
Oh, she's just. Oh, I just mentioned her and she disappeared.
Oh, she's gone. Come on, go.
Scared her off.
Oh, I wanted to get a bit of insight. Right, I'm going to start winding down, guys and girls. So, starting from Diane, and obviously we'll go along with Q. Score predictions, and also who do you think is going to score tomorrow?
Andy Cook and Tyler Smith, and Harry's not going to let a goal in, so 2-0.
Callie?
I'm going 2-1 tomorrow. I'm the same as Diane. I think Cookie and Smith are going to score, and I think it's going to be like a 1-1 game for quite a bit, and then I think we're going to pinch it at the end.
Gills?
I said 3-1, I think, to you, didn't I, on the match preview show?
Yep.
So we'll stick with that.
3-1 to who? 3-1 to Girls?
Absolutely, yeah. If Dane Oliver can get the consolation.
I mean, Harry's going to let 3 goals in.
Yep.
Oh, God, you're winding her up again. She'll be rattling. Tony?
I'll go 2-1 City. Andy Cook with them both.
And I'm going to say 2-0, and I think I did say Andy Cook and Dane Oliver scored just to keep our friends Gills happy over there.
Yeah, because the ex-player always manages to upset the opposition, don't they, usually?
Well, you've got 2 ex-players of ours, I think, off the top of my head as well.
Who's the second?
Oscar Davey.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we signed him as a kid when he was a teenager. Justin Edinburgh, the late Justin Edinburgh, God rest his soul, signed him. Yeah, attitude weren't the best.
Oh, well, if they're fair playing, one of them's going to score without a doubt then, aren't they? That's odds on, that is.
We'll see what happens.
Right, Diane and Callie, if you could do me a favour and just mute yourselves, please. Thank you. Right, I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining again today. And I'm going to say, I know probably haven't had time to say it, but I want to say thank you, everybody, for wishing me basically a speedy recovery. So, you can follow this podcast on all podcast services. We've gone global on iHeart and also Pandora in America that's Bradford City Up the Chickens. Also, Bradford City Up the Chickens on Facebook. Also, Braysodge Bradford City Up the Chickens on Facebook. Braysodge on Twitter. And wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.
See a somersault now, you'll get a double one. City's alive.